Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We are here to help Jennifer Aniston, aka Brooke from The Breakup, not to break up with her boyfriend. And we're going to use Married You tools that I teach inside of the Married You course. And this live stream is, in fact, brought to you by Married You. Definitely go and check it out and ask me any questions in the comments. So together, let's watch this scene. I'm going to break it down for you blow by blow, and I'm going to give you 3 really key tips. They're simplified, they're catchy, they're easy to remember, but if you find yourself bickering with your partner, if you find small arguments about the dishes getting blown over into much bigger issues, if you feel misunderstood or unheard in your arguments, then this video is 100% for you. I'm sorry. I don't know why this is happening. There we go. Okay. Okay. So, I keep blocking it, but it's not working. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, before I show you this little bit of the scene, and many of you will have seen it and many of you will not have seen it, either way is totally fine because we're going to watch it together. I want to say this. First of all, you're going to think it's really unfair that I'm just coaching Brooke. You're going to think, what about him? He's being a jerk. He's the problem. He needs to change here. And that is totally fair. But here's the reason that I'm only going to be talking about her. When I do, let's say in Married You, for example, or when I work with clients, they often come to me with the conviction, the clarity, and I can, you know what, let me just speak about myself. I, back in the day, had the absolute conviction and clarity that my husband was the problem, that he needed to change, that he needed to learn and grow and get therapy and take courses and read books and all of that. And so I was completely stuck. Now, I might have been right. He might have been the absolute problem. But the fact is that I could spend another 20 years, another 50, the rest of my life waiting for him to change because that's something I don't have control over, right? So as you know, let's start with that first hard truth to face. Is that so many women, and I'm talking to women just because this is the vast majority of my audience is women, the vast majority of my clients, my students inside of Married You, and I myself are coming from that perspective. And we're not, we're not a monolith. We all have different experiences, but let's just call a spade a spade. It's typically, stereotypically, on average, a bit of a different perspective, and we share a lot together. But so many of us feel that the other person needs to change, the man in the relationship needs to change, our partner needs to change, and then we are actually helpless. We're powerless because we don't know how to change him. And what changed for me, what made my marriage completely do a 180 is when I realized that I'm going to need to be the leader, the change maker, to take the action. And I know that brings up a ton of resistance, like that's not fair. That's one more mental load that the woman has to carry. You know, I've done all the things. I read the parenting books. I took therapy. He doesn't do anything. But it's just facing reality that if you want something to change, you can beg and cajole and manipulate and threaten and ask and hope and wait all you want. And it may happen and it may never happen. And so I personally was sick of waiting. I was sick of feeling helpless. I was sick of feeling like I wasn't an agent, an author in control of my own life. And so I made the change myself. So I'm going to coach Brooke here. Okay. He can continue with his, approach and all the jerkiness of his, but I'm going to coach her, what she could be doing differently. Okay. Now, this is a movie, of course, but it happens to be really realistic. And all the comments in YouTube are like, this is us, this is me. I think a lot of people can relate to this scene. And actually, I also just want to say one more little thing that is different about this than my students is that, first of all, they're not married. So it makes the idea of a breakup a little bit more, accessible, right? There's a little bit less barriers to a breakup. The threshold is lower. They haven't committed vows, they aren't legally bound, the families haven't kind of witnessed this forever ceremony, they aren't spiritually committed in that same way, and they don't have children. And when children come into the story, a breakup becomes so much more expensive for everyone, not fiscally, although of course financially too, but I mean emotionally expensive, right? It's suddenly not just about the couple, it's about what's good for the kids. So let's get into it.
Well, I'm going to go do the dishes.
Cool.
It'd be nice if you helped me. No problem. We'll get them a little bit later. I'm just going to hit the streets here for a little bit.
Okay, let's stop right there. Okay, right there. One of the biggest mistakes that we women stereotypically, I'm just talking in broad strokes, gross stereotypes, sorry, but that's how we have to talk. I'll say about myself. One of the big mistakes that I often make and that Brooke is going to make here, has already made, is that she's not talking in plain English. She's not speaking directly. She's saying, it would be nice if you help me, right? She's already got a tone of criticism like, would be nice, like, hello, it would be nice. She's already irritated. She's had a difficult evening with her partner, and that is showing in her request. It's not a straightforward, honest, agenda-free, criticism-free, judgment-free request like, would you mind please coming to help me? It would be nice, which is already a phrasing that has a little bit of bite to it. Okay, now his answer is no problem. In other words, yes, I will help you, but I'm not ready to help you just yet. I need to play my video games now, right? Which is, of course, irritating to her. Let's keep watching.
Gary, come on. I don't want to do them later. Let's just do them now. Take 15 minutes.
Oh, honey, I am so exhausted. I just honestly want to relax for a little bit. If I could just sit here, let my food digest, and just try to enjoy the quiet for a little bit. Get some. That's what happens. And we will, we can clean the dishes tomorrow.
Gary, I don't like waking up to a dirty kitchen.
Here.
Okay, so first of all, let me know in the comments right now if you can relate to this. If you've had a similar interaction with your partner, I certainly have. I have a very high expectation, demand, requirement, concern for the cleanliness of the house. And I really don't like procrastinating things like dishes. I don't want to wake up to dirty dishes in the morning. I want to do the laundry every day. I want to clean the kitchen every day. And my standards for cleanliness are probably going to be quite a lot higher. Certainly my standards for order and decluttering and organizing and all of that are going to be a lot higher than my husband. So for example, if he didn't live with me, right, he would have completely different standards. Maybe, quite a lot of men can relate to this. Some men are really neat freaks and clean freaks, but many of them, the bachelor pad stereotype is there for a reason. They're okay living in filth, living in mess. And what he's saying to her is, I'm happy to do this, but this isn't a high priority for me right now. I need some quiet. I want to relax. Now, as you're watching this, you might already be thinking, what a jerk. She cooked dinner. They're both tired. Why does he get to play a video game like a 4-year-old on the couch? And he's perfectly happy for her to go and wash the dishes, right? That's so gross. It's repellent. Many of us find that so unattractive. And certainly Brooke does. She's feeling really frustrated already.
I care, all right? I care. I busted my ass all day cleaning this house and then cooking that meal, and I worked today. It would be nice if you said thank you and helped me with the dishes.
Okay. All right. So here we already get into the, the real crux and the big issues that many of us, or the mistakes that many of us make when we're in an argument. She wants him to see her. She wants him to see all her effort. She worked all day. She made this dinner. He hasn't shown appreciation, and she busted herself all day. And now it would just be nice if you could help me with the dishes, right? But the way that she's saying this already lends itself to a victimhood competition. Who worked harder? Who's more tired? Who's more put upon? Who invested more? Who doesn't appreciate more, right? And this is something that we all make this mistake where we just really want the other person to appreciate us and see us. And we're stuck in our own lens, in our own ego and in our own story. And her narrative is, I worked so much harder than you. And I now need to show you how hard life is for me, how hard I've worked. Now, have you ever had this experience that your husband maybe comes home from work and you're with the kids, or you wake up in the morning and you maybe breastfed at night and you feel like you have to show him how hard life has been for you, that he has to see that it's not fun, that it's difficult, that you are a victim, that you are dealing with a lot, that things are hard, right? And this is something that is quite deeply rooted in our culture at large, but it's also deeply rooted in our relationships, where we're playing a victim game, a victim competition. Who deserves more sympathy? Who deserves more empathy? Who deserves to put their feet up? Who deserves some time? Who deserves some time with their friends, or some time in the bathroom, or some time to travel, or right? There's this competition of who among us is working harder. Now, her first mistake right here is that instead of just directly asking him, darling, I know you really want to play your game. for me, I just really need the dishes done now. Would you be willing to postpone your game and help me so that I can get it done? Because I'll just feel so much better. Instead of asking him directly and honestly for what she needs and making it an offer that he can't refuse, because everyone who loves each other, okay, fine, of course, yes, I'll help you. She is making it already stacked, that she is pressing upon him just how much he should feel sorry for her, that he should do this out of pity, that he should do this because he owes her one, right? She's talking in the language of someone who owes someone something. You know, I worked all hard. I'm tired. All right. It's very much centered on everything that she's done. I would like some appreciation. Of course, we all want some appreciation, but she's not asking for what she wants in a direct, normal, you know, straightforward English way. It's really, really charged. It has a lot of baggage there. And the baggage is an accusation. The baggage is an accusation. I worked harder than you. You're doing nothing. I am carrying the load here. And that accusation is between the lines of something that many of us say to our husbands, right? We don't just ask outright, honestly, forthrightly, charmingly, even femininely, sweetly, kindly, gently, respectfully for help. No, it has to come with a jab, you know? It would have been nice if you'd appreciated that. You know, I worked all day, right? That's an accusation that you worked less hard than me. That's an accusation that you haven't shown any appreciation. And no wonder his defenses are spiking.
Fine. I'll help you do the damn dishes.
Oh, come on. You know what? No, that's not what I want.
You just said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes? Why?
See, that's my whole point.
Okay, she thinks she's made some big point here, right? We often get into this place like, oh, I'm on my moral high ground. I'm on my high horse. I want you to want to help me, right? And fair enough. We all want the other person to want to help us. But here's her big mistake. She's expecting him to mind read. She's expecting him to guess, and she's expecting him to have the exact same, priorities and desires and wishes and fantasies as she does. He's a different human being. You know, he's got different needs, different desires, and different standards for cleanliness. He's actually fine leaving the dishes till the morning. He said, sure, no problem. I'll do them. I'll just do them in the morning. She wants it done her way. It has to be now. It's a my way or the highway mentality. It's if you didn't jump when I said jump, then you are, not okay. You don't love me. You're not committed to me. If you don't want the very things that I want at the very same moment, then you're somehow hurtful. You're somehow narcissistic. You're egoistic, right? And I think we get so wrapped up in our priorities. Like, wait, I want a clean house. That's a good want. That's a healthy desire. It's for the betterment of all of us. You all benefit. He benefits from her washing the dishes now, right? So she's taking on emotional labor, physical labor, all of this stuff that he benefits from. But he's saying to her, plain and simple, I don't care about the dishes. It could be done tomorrow. Now, I think she's still within her rights. It's still within the norm. It still would make sense for her to say, would you be willing to put aside the video game now and put my priorities ahead of yours? But she's not owning the fact that that's what she's asking of him at all, which is a mistake. If she'd own it, he would be a lot more open and receptive to her request. Now, let's get into the scene we just watched right now. He said, fine, I'll help you do the damn dishes. Now, at this moment, she could turn it all around. At any moment, she could turn it all around. That's something I really want you to take away from this session, is that at any moment, you could just turn it all around with a complete shift in your attitude and in the way that you talk to the other person, in your body language. I can teach you all of those things. At any moment, you can save it from deteriorating. But at this moment would be perfect because there was an actual twist in the plot. There was actual fork in the road. He could have said, no, I'm not helping you do the dishes. And he said, yes, I am. And instead of noticing that the man is giving up the quiet time he needs, he just needs to unwind a little bit. He wants to play his game. He's invested. He's already in the middle. He's put it down. He stood up. He's a bit frustrated and irritated to be interrupted at the end of his long day as well, etc. But he said, I will. And I think many of us don't accept, we won't take the win, right? We won't say, you know what? Thank you. I know that was really not what you wanted to do right now, but I do appreciate it because I actually really need the help, which is what she asked for, right? It's a bit disingenuous to then say, no, I wanted you to want to do it. And also, let's notice that there is tension in the air, right? They've just come off of a very unpleasant dinner. They're both exhausted. They're both a bit drained. And there's tension in the air. So just for 1 minute, let the man come in and do the dishes with you and let the tension dispel. She could put some music on. They could get flirty and fun. They could change the atmosphere. And he could even have fun doing the dishes with her. Right? She doesn't have to bend over backwards to make it the most amazing thing, but why not sweeten the deal? Why not make it better for both of them? It's okay that he said, fine, I'll do it, without a big enthusiastic smile on his face, because he really wasn't excited about doing the dishes. But the fact is that he said yes to you, honey. He decided that you were more important than his game. That's in and of itself exactly what she's asking for. She wants to see that she is more important than the game. And he showed her that. He got up from the couch and she's like, no, forget it. It doesn't count. If you don't do it with the exact attitude, with the exact smile, with the exact energy, then I'm going to blow this whole thing up. So in this case, I want us all to learn something from this, which is that if your partner gets you a gift, gets you flowers that you don't like, does something for you that's not in the way that you wanted, we easily become that controlling, shrew, that difficult, overbearing, nagging wife when we won't accept an 80% answer, okay? A B grade. Like, he did it. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't ideal. It was a bit annoying, but she won't accept it, right? Nothing is acceptable unless it's a straight A, right? Which is exasperating for him because he's just a human being. Nothing's going to be perfect.
Let me see if I'm following this. Okay. Are you telling me that you're upset because I don't have a strong desire to clean dishes?
No, I'm upset because you don't have a strong desire to offer to do the dishes.
I just did.
After I asked you.
Wrong. She's not upset because he doesn't have a strong desire to offer to do the dishes. That's not what she wanted from him. She wanted from him appreciation and a kind of a buy-in. She wanted him to show her that he loves her, that he respects her, and that if she needs help, or that, they take things on together, that she comes above everything else, that her desires, like as soon as she says, I'm going to do the dishes, he's going to jump up and be like, hold that, honey, I'll do the dishes, or we'll do it together, or whatever, right? She wanted to see that he sees her, basically. And when I say sees her, that always sounds a bit woo-woo. It's a bit like unclear. What does that mean when someone sees you? But basically that he's looking at her and he's noticing that she's tired, that she's worked hard, that she's invested a lot. She needs appreciation. That's what seeing someone means. So she doesn't mind that he didn't offer. She minds that he didn't show her appreciation. Now, I said I'm not coaching him. There's a million things he's doing wrong here. He can also stop it at any time. But let's carry on with coaching her. At this point, she's raising her voice. Her tone of voice and body language are very kind of assertive and aggressive and angry. She's got a lot of pent up emotions and she's spiking all of his defenses. So he's becoming deaf to what she's really trying to say. He's going to continue to miss the point because his defenses are now up, right? And he is not receptive. He's not really listening. She hasn't gotten an open path. Okay. The gateway is not open to real communication. And we'll talk about what she could have done differently.
Jesus, Brooke, you're acting crazy again.
Don't you call me crazy. I am not crazy.
I didn't call you crazy. I didn't call you crazy. No, I didn't. I said you're acting crazy.
Okay. So he's now saying you're acting crazy. And instead of taking that, by the way, at any point, she could take the high ground, right? She could make a switch. So here, he's saying you're acting crazy. Okay. If she could calm her nervous system down for a minute, she could be like, okay, tell me how I'm acting crazy. Or, okay, I hear you say that this seems crazy to you. What is crazy about this? Or, you know what? Yes, I am in a crazy moment right now. I'm crazy exhausted. I'm crazy overwhelmed. I'm crazy madly in love with you and I crazy need help. Would you mind please helping me? Right? She could make it into a joke. She could make it into a flirt. She could make it into something honest, mature, receptive. Like, okay, let me know what you mean by that. I want to hear more. But she's going to take offense because he said the word crazy, right?
You know what, Gary? I asked you to do one thing today, one very simple thing, to bring me 12 lemons, and you brought me 3.
God damn it. If I knew that it was going to be this much trouble, I would have brought home 24 lemons, even 100 lemons. I know what I wish? I wish everyone that was at that goddamn table had their own little private bag of lemons.
Gary, it's not about the lemons.
Well, that's all you're talking about.
I'm just saying it'd be nice if you did things that I asked. It would be even nicer if you did things without me having to ask you.
Okay, that is such a common female misconception. Honestly, let's just call it what it is, delusion. it would be nice if you just did things without me having to ask you. Like, yeah, it would be nice, but that's kind of like saying it would be nice if, you know, it was sunny and perfect weather every day. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Are you, Brooke, doing things without him having to ask you for him? Are you reading his mind? Or are you also stuck in your own brain, in your own baggage, in your own skewed fallacies, and your own thought process, and in your own priorities? Did you, without him having to ask you, right, just volunteer acts of service or help or quality time or words of affirmation or touch for him? Right. This is a female delusion that we often get into, that our partners should be able to read our minds. But let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just call it as it is. Okay. They can't read our minds. They don't know what we want, especially if you become a bit convoluted, if you don't phrase things in simple, plain English or whatever language you speak, if you drop hints, if you expect, if you act sly and coy and leave breadcrumbs that he's supposed to pick up on, if you send him a link and you mention something about a friend. And men typically, on average, do not work that way. They need straightforward, clear directions. Now, you might say to me, but Avital, she gave him clear directions. She said, I would like you to offer help with the dishes, right? And that's fine, but she hasn't started off that way. And she is constantly missing the real point of what she wants from him, which is just acknowledgement and appreciation. She wants to feel that he loves her, that he sees her work, that he appreciates her. She wants him to grab her and say, babe, you're the best. You're gorgeous. You worked so hard on tonight. Thank you so much. Right? She wants to feel loved. She wants to feel that he looks into her eyes and sees what a great woman she is. She needs that validation. One of the things that she's missing is that he does too. So it's like two paupers begging each other, and neither of them is giving the other what they need.
Well, I do seem to remember doing something for you this morning without you asking.
Gary, come on.
I'm
You know what?
serious.
No, I'm
here.
serious.
I am
I
too.
really am. Come on. You knew I was working today and I made that meal, and you could have thought to yourself, you know, you could have said, I think I'm going to get Brooke some flowers.
Such a missed opportunity here, right? He was bringing in flirtation. He was bringing in innuendo. He was reminding her of a time that they connected. Okay, this morning. I remember this morning I did something for you, and he's touching her. He is trying to break the ice. He is trying to get through to her and show her, no, wait, don't go off on this rant again. We're lovers, we're friends, we're a couple. Let me remind you that I'm your boyfriend. Let me remind you that I'm your man. Let me remind you that there's tension and friction in the best possible way between us. Let's get flirty. Now, what she could have done here, she could have let him succeed in breaking the ice. He says, I'm serious. And she goes, no, I'm serious. And she suddenly gets back on her librarian, teacher, mother hat, where she's nagging and complaining and criticizing him. And no one wants to hear that, right? No one wants to be nagged at like that. So he is grabbing her by the waist, and she squirms away and says, no, I'm serious, and gets back into that, high moral ground, telling him off, when she could have leaned in. She could have been like, oh, yeah? Oh, you did something for me this morning? Oh, how about that? You know what would be really hot? If you did something for me right now with this dish brush, right? She could have gone with the flirtation. She could have gone with the change of atmosphere. He was there. He made a step. He took action to cut through the negative tension and turn it into positive tension, right? Flirtatious, fun, feminine, masculine polarization tension. Reminder that we're intimate, we're close, we have a fun, secret, sexy life together. Let's not let this dishes fight ruin us. Let's not get hung up on the number of lemons and the mistakes that I've made. He's trying to remind her to see him through attractive eyes, right? To be attracted, to be connected. And it's a shame that she squirms away from that. She refuses that bridge, right? He's extending an olive branch. He's extending a white flag and saying, wait, hold up. Let's not escalate this into a bad fight. Let's remind ourselves that we are flirty, fun partners. And then we can do the dishes, fine, but let's get back to a good place. And she's saying, absolutely not. And then she comes up with a whole new complaint. So the complaints were, you didn't offer to do the dishes. You brought me 3 lemons when I asked for 12. Okay, these are things that, we all make these types of mistakes. We all sometimes overlook. But suddenly she's come up with a whole, so she's doing what the Gottman Institute calls kitchen sinking, where she's adding on more and more complaints. He can't field them. He can't, dissect them and analyze them and categorize them and deal. He's overwhelmed, right? So now it's the flowers.
You said on our very first date that you don't like flowers, that they're a waste of money.
Every girl likes flowers, Gary.
You said
So now again, he's not supposed to take her at her word. If she says, I don't like flowers, they're a waste of money, he's supposed to know that she doesn't mean that. That actually he should buy her flowers. That actually every girl likes flowers, you idiot. How do you not know that, Gary? Everyone knows that, right? And he's saying, look, just tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it. And many women just take that as the bare standard, like, oh, of course he's going to do what I ask him to do. If I tell him to get me flowers, then fine, but it doesn't count because he needed to think of it for himself. He needed to come up with it, he needed to read my mind. And I want to tell you that this is such a fast route. This is such a fast recipe for kind of constant conflict, right? Expecting anyone to read your mind. Your parents can't read your mind. Your children can't read your mind. Your colleagues can't read your mind. Your boss can't read your mind. And your partner, as much as they know you and love you intimately, cannot read your mind. So if you once told them you don't like flowers, then yeah, 3 years later, they're still not buying you flowers because they took you at your word. They believed you, right? It's almost the sign of respect. It's like, she said no, so no. But that's not good enough. He was supposed to figure out, right, in some kind of convoluted, manipulative way that she didn't really mean it. Now, again, she's getting stuck on the superficial. She's getting completely stuck on the lemons, the flowers, the dishes. The real thing she wants here is love. She just wants love. She wants him to get off the couch and give her a big hug and say, I love you and appreciate you. And then she would happily skip off to do the dishes by herself or ask him to do the dishes or leave the dishes for the morning. The dishes would get done. That would not be the issue. She would be feeling connected and loved and appreciated by him. And she wouldn't have to use lemons or dishes or flowers as a prop to say, babe, I feel a bit unseen and underappreciated. I just really need a big hug. I need you to tell me what an amazing wife I am. I need you to buy me a gift tomorrow. I need you to take me out. I need you to buy me flowers. Like, say the thing. And if you have a good man in your corner with a good relationship, he'll want to do the thing. But you need to say the thing with clarity.
that you don't like flowers. I'm supposed to take that to mean that you do like flowers?
No, this is not about, you're not getting it. You're not getting this, Gary. Okay, it's not about the lemons. It's not about the flowers. It's not about the dishes. It's just about, how many times do I have to drop hints about the ballet?
You know I can't stay. Brooke, come here. We talked about the damn ballet.
Okay, there, she had an opportunity again to say, it's not about all of those things. It's about me just needing a hug and needing to feel loved and appreciated. I need you to tell me, wow, honey, you are amazing. You did so much. Thank you for hosting my family. Thank you for this morning in the bedroom. Thank you for the beautiful home you make for me. I needed you to tell me that. And she can't vulnerably, honestly, and maturely just say what she really needs. So she's yet reaching for another crutch, the ballet. You don't take me to the ballet. Again, she is trying so hard to win by making him look bad. You'll never win by making him look bad. You'll never win by blaming him more and more, by kitchen sinking, by giving him long lists of all the ways he sucks. You'll never win your husband's love, appreciation, and respect through constant criticism and long lists of all the flowers. You didn't change the diaper. You didn't get up in the middle of the night. You earn less than me. You didn't support me when I said I want to go to the gym. You made some comment to my mom, right? You have these lists. I know that you have this list in your back pocket right now. You have a running list of complaints of all the things you have on your husband. Like, oh, I have this on him. I have that on him. You were late. You didn't text me. You yelled at the kids. You ate my last piece of cake when you knew that I wanted to eat it. You have a list. You have a list in your head of all the ways he's failing, and you're waiting to use it to get him, right? That will never work. That will never work.
I hate the goddamn ballet. You got a bunch of dudes in tights flopping around for 3 hours. It's like a medieval techno show. It's a nightmare. I sit there in the sweat. The whole thing. I do. I'm wondering when the hell's the goddamn nightmare gonna end? Go to a damn ballet.
It's not about you loving the ballet, Gary. It's about the person that you love loves the ballet, and you wanting to spend time with that person.
Not when they're at the ballet?
Okay, forget the ballet. Forget the ballet. We don't go anywhere together.
We just went to Ann Arbor together.
To Ann Arbor. To the Michigan Notre Dame game. You think screaming drunk kids and leprechauns doing backflips, that's fun. That's fun for me. Come on, man. I did that for you. How do you show up for me?
I did that for you. How do you show up for me? That is her tit for tat tally. She has a scoreboard. I did all of this for you. Ann Arbor was for you. It wasn't for me. This is the biggest mistake that we make, the mindset that just rots relationships from the inside. Keeping score, right? And she always has to be one up on him, right? The fact that they spent quality time together in Ann Arbor doesn't interest her in the slightest. That's not what's interesting. That's not what's good. She's not going to see it as something we do together. It's I do this for you, you do that for me. It's the tit for tat, okay? And that's why when she talks about the ballet, you know, she's not talking honestly and in depth and vulnerably and maturely about what she really wants. She's like, listen, honey, I know you hate the ballet, but it means so much to me to have you there with me. Would you be willing to do that for me, right? She's like, I did that for you. What are you doing for me?
I'm up on the bus every goddamn day for you.
Come on.
I'm busting my ass to be the best tour guide in the damn city so I can make enough money to support both of us, and hopefully you won't have to work one day.
I want to work.
All I ask, Brooke, is that you show a little bit of appreciation, that I just get 20 minutes to relax when I come home instead of being attacked with questions and nag the whole damn thing.
You think that I nag you?
That's all you do. All you do is nag me. The bathroom's a mess. Your belt doesn't match. Hey, Gary, you should probably go work out. Nothing I ever do is ever good enough. I just want to be left the hell alone.
Really? Is that what you want, Gary? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
That's what you want?
Yeah.
Fine. Great. Do whatever the hell you want. You leave your socks all over this house, dress like a pig, play your stupid ass video game. I don't care. I'm done.
What?
I am done. I don't deserve this. I really do not deserve this. I deserve somebody who gives a shit. I'm not spending one more second of this life with some inconsiderate prick. You're a prick.
Okay, so she is ready to end the relationship over this fight. She says so. She brings it up. It's another mistake that she makes inside of this argument, is bringing up the extreme case scenario. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend a little bit of time here giving you 3 things that Brooke could have done differently. Okay, Gary could have done a ton of things differently too. We're not letting him off the hook. We're just offering Brooke the tools that she needs so that it doesn't need to happen again, so that she can get what she wants out of him. She can be appreciated. She can be adored. She can be cherished. She can be respected. She can get help with the dishes, right? She can get all the things that she actually wants if she communicated differently with him, okay? All right, so the first thing that she needed to do was the hardest thing for all of us parents, for all human beings when you're triggered, but it's when you take a break. Okay, when you feel yourself getting heated up, I'm gonna yell, I'm gonna criticize, I'm frustrated right now, I've had a really hard time, is that you need to let your prefrontal cortex come back online. Your amygdala is firing, you're in your primitive brain, you're getting triggered, fight or flight takes over our brain. And we know from functional MRIs, fMRIs, that we aren't able to process information and to think in long-term ways when we're triggered. So she's super mad and she wants to let fly at him, and she's saying all these things that aren't making that much sense. They're just triggering him, they're attacking him, and she's not managing to solve the problem. So you might say to me, Avital, it's not fair. She needs the dishes done in that moment. Well, tough luck, Buttercup. We don't always get exactly what we want in that moment. Sometimes we need to just take a moment and let ourselves calm down. What she needed to do is wait with the dishes, go have a shower, or go do the dishes angrily, fine. But she needs a bit of time, probably about 10 minutes. But sometimes it's closer to half an hour, maybe 40, maybe an hour, right? To let herself just calm down. So first, in that time, what's going to happen is you're just ruminating. How dare he? He's such a jerk. Why is he playing video games? I do everything around here. It's not fair. Other husbands do this. I do it for him. I've been bending over. I made the whole meal myself. What did I ask for him? Just for 3 lemons. Why did he bring me 3? I asked for 12. Right? In the beginning, you're going over the fight and you're still in that fight mode and you're just rapid fire. The monkey brain is getting out all the chatter, all the arguments that you really want to make at him, all the things you have on him. You take out that back pocket and let me remind you about last week, about last year, about what you did today, about what you did yesterday. But then you have an opportunity to calm that monkey mind and to bring your thinking brain back online. And when your thinking brain comes back online, you're able to think about your long-term goals. Your monkey brain, right, your triggered brain can only think about short-term goals, which is winning and surviving right now. And she's totally in that mode. We see it from her body language. We see it from the way she's gritting her teeth and raising her voice and interrupting him and yelling back at him. I'm going to get you, right? It's all about winning the fight. But in the way, what I want you to take away from this is that we are in marriage not to win the battle, but to win the war. Okay. You don't want to win battles against your husband. You don't want to come out on top, right? Like, I showed him, I had such a long list, I'm the winner of this battle. No, you want to win the war. And the war is staying in the marriage for longevity. It's growing old together. It's getting the marriage of your dreams. It's getting a partnership that makes you feel safe and adored and loved and committed and loyal and romance and passion and all that good stuff, right? That's the war. That's what we want long term. So that's why we have to take a break and let our thinking brain come back online and strategize, okay? And that's when you strategize and you think, 1 minute. I could go in there, bark his head off, tell him everything he's done wrong. He'll just get defensive and answer back, and we'll do the same old fight again and again and again. But I want to win the war. I want a long-term marriage. I want stability. I want love. I want connection. I want respect. I want to be appreciated. I want help with household chores. I want, fair division of labor, whatever it is that you want. Okay. And that's why you take a break first. So she needed to take a break, right? She needed to say, you know what, Gary, I'm just really triggered right now. I'm going to go take a break. I'm having a shower. I'll speak to you soon. Okay. Then the second step, okay. First step, you can write this one down, take a break. Second step, she needed to let him go first. Okay. When we are caught up in all the ways that we're right, in all the ways that he's wrong, in all the way he's being unfair, he should have just jumped off the couch and done the dishes. We are ready with our very long list of verbal attacks, right? That kitchen sink of all the things he's done wrong. And she's ready to shoot it at him rapid fire. But the trick here, the ninja trick, the next level, okay, the advanced marriage trick, the marriage mastery trick, the people who really master their marriages know how to come back to the situation and let the other person go first. So she needed to come back and say to him exactly the things that she wanted him to say to her. Treat him exactly in the way that she wanted him to treat her. She needed to bring to him the exact energy and skills that she wanted him to bring to her. Now, what do I mean by that? It's a really good ninja trick. I'm giving away the farm, guys. Everything in Married You here, I'm just going to rapid fire give it to you in the next 5 minutes, okay? But I suggest you join the course because that's where you'll get the real results, okay? What she needed to do is think, what is it that I want from him right now? Really on a deep level. I want appreciation. I want him to list off the ways that I've been great. I want help. I want love. I want some attention. I want some adoration, right? I want to be appreciated and all of that. So she needs to come with that energy to him. Why? Because we have mirror neurons in our brain and we copy. We copy each other. We influence each other with our behavior. If I come in and yell at you, you're going to come in and yell at me. If I come in and list all the ways that you are crazy, you're going to tell me all the ways that I am crazy. Okay? So it's just a vicious cycle. It goes round and round and it continues forever. And we can bicker again and again like this till the cows come home, and many people do. Instead, we need to decide what it is we want, and then we need to come and give it to the other person so that we change the whole energy. You know this, when you come into a room with a big smile and warm energy, people are responsive to that. And when you come into a room scowling and critical, people are responsive to that. People react by reflecting. So you come into the room, you've taken a break, your prefrontal cortex is back online, you're back in touch with what you really want. Oh, I really want appreciation, actually. That's what I really want. If I'm honest, if I'm vulnerable, if I'm mature about this, that's what I really want. She keeps saying it's not about the dishes, but she's not managing to say what it's really about. So she comes in and she says, hey, Gary, I see that you really need a break. I see that you're playing your video game. I see that you really need some quiet. I just, I'm wondering if you had a hard day. I'm wondering if you feel like I don't give you space. I care. I care. And I want you to know that I know that you worked really hard today and that you work really hard every day. And I really appreciate that, right? She would be offering him appreciation. She would be offering him a chance to say what he has to say. She would be showing him that she cares, that she sees him, that she appreciates him, that she loves and adores him. right? And that would set the entire tone for the conversation differently. It will open the gateways for him to hear what she wants to say. Okay. And then he'll say, no, yeah, I'm just a bit exhausted and it's just been a hard day and I just want to unwind a little bit. I'm just feeling tired or whatever, right? Fine. He'd express himself. You let him go first, because otherwise all of that pent up energy, all of that defensiveness, all of the things he has to throw back at you will just ricochet back to you and you'll be caught in a fight. But if he gets it off his chest, if he's able to say it, if he's able to express it, and you show him that you can listen maturely, that you can accept, that you can validate, that you can hear him, that it doesn't threaten you, it's okay, you do care, you do want to hear, you do want to be a supportive, loving spouse, then he is then going to be open to reflecting that back to you. And then the third stage would be to cut to the chase, to stop speaking gibberish, to stop, hiding behind examples like the flowers or the lemons or the dishes or the ballet, and to say to him in all honesty, vulnerability, and maturity, okay, what you really want long term. So you would say to him something like this: my love, I'm really so thrilled about our relationship. And I feel that you are the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And I feel that there's immense potential between us and a lot of goodwill and a lot of good teamwork. And often we really do things for each other. And we went to Ann Arbor and we had this dinner party together. And, we do a lot really well. And I just want to tell you that sometimes I just really need to be held. Or to be appreciated, or I just want you to tell me that I look beautiful, or that the dinner was delicious, or that you appreciate what I'm doing, or to be willing to help me when I'm, having a hard time. And if she could do that with the same kind of body language, tone of voice, that elicits connection, right? So she would be talking in a softer tone of voice. She would be talking with a calmer facial features. She would be using touch. Maybe she would even be a bit flirtatious or playful, right? And what I really need from you right now, you would just be my hero if you could help me with the dishes, darling. Would you be willing to do that for me? I know you don't care about the dishes, but for me, if they stay in the sink till the morning, it just stresses me out. Yes, call me crazy. My brain works that way, but for me, it's a big deal. Okay. And she would be able to get out of him the inspiration, the energy, the commitment, the desire to please her. Absolutely. Because we as partners do want to please each other. We want to do, the next level thing, go above and beyond, or just do the basic thing of doing the dishes. We want to do that. He wants to do that, but he is stuck being defensive because he just feels all the arrows coming at him. Okay. So then you can explain yourself. Then you can say, when I asked you to do the dishes, you didn't say yes straight away. And I know you don't need to read my mind. And I know the dishes aren't so important to you. But I think I just had this fantasy that you would kind of say, yes, of course, darling, I'll do them. Why don't you sit with your legs up? And I know you're also tired and you were happy to do them in the morning. But I'm just curious if you'd be open to doing them now, because it would mean so much to me. And I would love that. Maybe we could put on our favorite songs together and do it together. Right now, if you've seen the full movie, you know that they go on to make many more mistakes. They take bad advice from friends who do not want the best for them, do not understand what their partnership is about, right? They play really stupid games and they win stupid prizes, and they wait way too long to solve this. But even at this point, when she says, we're breaking up, and she walks out of the room, she makes the mistake of letting it linger. She could have come back in and said, you know what? I'm just speaking in the heat of the moment. I spoke too fast. That's not really what I want, but let's talk tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll go out for a coffee. We'll take a break from work and we'll sort this out, right? She could have given him some kind of hope to hang his hat on, some kind of end date, some kind of ownership and accountability for the fact that she's right now very mad and she's saying things she doesn't mean. So when you get mad, you can even say, I'm really mad right now. I'm going to say things I don't mean. I do want to make up with you. I do want to have a good energy with you. Just right now, it just seems so impossible, right? So you can leave yourself a bridge, right? Kind of give yourself a ladder to get out of the hole that you're digging for yourself, right? Don't blow things up. Don't make them more extreme and more volatile and more hostile and more dramatic. Many women kind of go into the drama, but that kind of hysteria, that kind of escalation, right? She doesn't mean it. We know by the end of the movie, she didn't mean it. She wanted to get back together with him, but she's digging herself a deeper and deeper grave where she's not being clear and she's making it seem like she really doesn't care about him and she's really trying to hurt him. And that is never going to work. All right, my friends, we'll leave that here. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What did you think of this scene? What would you do differently? Does it resonate with you? Is this the type of thing that's helpful for you as we coach? I do all of this coaching inside of Married You. And I want to invite you. Married You closes very soon. It's married-you.com. And it's all basically a marriage university where you learn the basic skills of communication. You learn how to calm yourself. You learn how to communicate. You learn how to become the best lovers and friends and co-partners and co-parents, because that's one thing we didn't touch on here is their parents, right? How would they deal with this if the kids were in the room? How would they deal with this if the kids asked them questions about this or interrupted, or, would they start using the kids against each other in an argument, as so many of us have? Those are the types of things that are addressed in depth in Married You. Married You, the promise of Married You is that you really can create the partnership of your dreams in the marriage that you've got. So whether you're on the verge of leaving, like, Brooke is here, or you're feeling like, look, everything's okay, but we keep arguing, or we keep bickering, or we keep not feeling really fulfilled, or I keep not feeling 100% safe and secure, or I keep feeling misunderstood. Many times we get so stuck in life thinking my partner needs to change, my partner needs to change. And maybe he does, but you could just be stuck waiting forever for him to change. And what I want to offer you is the fact that you can learn these skills and he will meet you where you are. If you change the rules of engagement in your relationship, if you show up with better energy, with better skills, with better communication, if you don't escalate things, look at all the things Brooke could have done there. And she could have changed it completely. The outcome would have been astronomically different, right? Without him knowing, without him changing. If she'd have just learned these skills, she would have known how to show up to the situation and gotten better results from it. And yes, it's unfair that it's on you again, and all of that is fine. But the fact is that you want the results. You want the marriage. You want the connection. And if he's not doing it right now, then it's time for you to do it, because it's too important. Your marriage is too important. This is your pair bonding. This is your person. And some people said in the comments below, like, oh, it's good that they figured this out now. They're clearly incompatible and it's better for them to break up. But I think that is so unrealistic. I don't know a single relationship, and I know lots of marriages very intimately from the inside. I see them in my coaching. I don't know a single relationship who hasn't had a moment like this, that hasn't had, ups and downs and arguments and misunderstandings and miscommunications and poor interpretations of each other, right? Where we're stuck in many cognitive fallacies and really unskilled. But that's something that can change. Just like you can learn to read, you can learn to ride a bike, you can learn to tie a shoelace, you can learn to lift weights, you can learn to communicate in a way that gets through, that cuts through that noise and ends that cycle. So I warmly invite you to check out Married You at married-you.com and leave me your questions below. Meanwhile, keep on living that high fam life. It was great to see you here. Bye.